Okay, let's learn how to bench press with a barbell. Once again, having access to some sort of rack will be a more efficient way to barbell bench press, but I know there's quite a few of you that just have a barbell or like a barbell-esque style of thing that's not this like Olympic lifting barbell, one of the ones with the like built-in weights on the end. And so if you have a rack, amazing. If you don't, I'm going to show you how to use it without it. For this movement in particular, I want to talk about what we are going to be doing with our elbows, because it'll be kind of tricky for me to show you when I'm laying on my back. I do not want your arms to be a T. I also don't want them to be snuggled into your side. I want you to split the difference and for you to think of being an arrow. And so the top of your head is the like pointy part of an arrow, and then your arms are the wings, which are technically called fletchings. Fun fact for you. But if you think of an arrow, even if you're just like thinking of like a rudimentary arrow, it's like a triangle shape. And so your head is a triangle, they're the tip of the triangle, and then each one of your elbows are the other points. Not a T, not a I. With this, a very interesting and kind of like hotly debated position is, what are you doing with your spine? You probably have seen people bench press with a hell of a fucking arch in their back, and so their butt is on the bench, and then they will like low-key almost back bend. I can't really do it. To get up under it. Like some people have like a crazy fucking arch. And so they're like super C-shaped on the bench. Works really well for people that are competitive barbell lifters. So think like competitive power lifters. It decreases the amount of space between their chest and the starting part of the bar. And so not that it's not hard, but if you don't have to travel as far with the barbell, it's less energy. And there's some more like, I don't know, kind of like finer tune points where like you can make the argument that it's needed. I find it to be a pretty like unstable position for my body to bench press in. I find bench pressing just in general to be kind of a challenging movement for my body. And so I like to have maybe a tiny little bit of an arch in my low back, but more often than not, my spine is pretty flat on the bench. And so you can kind of play with that spinal position. We do want to make sure that we are anchoring in our butt contact point. There's a lot of drive that happens from our legs with a bench press, and so we are going to be like really engaging our legs, like pushing into the floor to create as much kind of like global stability as we possibly can. Because if I were to have my like lower body be really loose, I'm gonna have to like stabilize a lot harder to move more mass with my upper body and like upper part of my core. And not that we're not willing to work hard, but let's not work harder than we like have to. So, okay, grab the barbell. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Other note, if you are putting weights onto your barbell and you are lifting alone, I don't want you to clamp the weights, because if you fail the lift, which is like you can't get it up off of you, the only option you have, and you like don't have the strength, right? How you would get out of it is you would tip the barbell to one side. The weights would come off, that end would be lighter, and then you can tip the other way and get the weights off of the other side, and then hopefully you still have the strength to lift just the bar up. If nothing else, you'll be able to like roll it off of you. But if it's heavy and then the weights are trapped with the clips and you're alone, it could be a little bit precarious. Okay, that being said, to transition from a seated position to being flat on the bench without having a rack, you're not going to want this to be probably that heavy to start, at least. We're going to lift up and then rock back. And I like to use kind of my feet to catch me on the bench so that I don't just like fling myself onto the ground. The barbell is gonna try to hit, once again, just like underneath a like normal length sports bra. And so if you have a long line sports bra, you're gonna aim for the bottom part of your sternum with this. I find the like easiest starting point to be to find the ridge, because the barbell's like smooth in the middle, most of them are at least. Find where it goes from smooth to like bumpy. The tip of my thumb is gonna be there, and then I'm gonna grab and I'm gonna like baseball grip, true grip the barbell. I'm thinking a triangle, once again, with my arms. I'm going to push into the ground with my legs. I'm going to engage my core, brace my core, thinking 360 degrees of pressure, and then I'm going to push the barbell up in front of me, not directly over my eyeballs. Once again, it's like a little bit in between my probably nipples and throat, and then I'm gonna come down at an angle to the bottom part of my sports bra. Up and down and up. And we're gonna want to control the entire movement. I don't want this to be like gravity's taking the barbell down, and so I'm thinking slowly, slowly, slowly lower. I'm gonna barely touch it to my chest, and then I'm gonna drive my arms up in front of me. With my wrists, I'm not trying to go into an extension. I'm trying to keep my wrists pretty neutral. I am like gripping onto the bar, and then I feel this in my pec muscles a lot, a little bit in my biceps, and then because I am hypermobile, I'm feeling my like shoulder, kind of external part of my shoulder, like my rotator cuff, work pretty hard to stabilize this. I'm gonna come down, and then I'm trying to push evenly with both arms to the starting position. And when I am done with my sets and reps, I am gonna just roll this kind of down to my hip bones, and then once it's like low enough, I can do like a pretty big sit up with it. A rack, once again, will make this like a little bit easier, because then we just like put it back on the rack. But if you don't have access to one, you can do it without one. I'm trying to think if there's any other talking points with this. I like more of a medium grip, because you can do more of a narrow grip and more of a wide grip with a barbell bench press as well. But I'm thinking just, yeah, right outside of my shoulder width. Oh, elbows was the other thing. Sorry, it's like I'm forgetting something important. I'm not locking my elbows out at the top. My arms are like almost straight, but they're not like hard lockout. There's like a very, very slight bend as I press up and then come down. And that whole push up and push down should be very fluid. I'm not like snapping at the top, which I can see people do at the beginning parts of learning how to do this. I'll demo it, where it's like, this is heavy, this is hard, and so I'm gonna like snap at the top. It's a really smooth movement, pushing forward and pushing back. I feel my shoulder blades moving forward on my rib cage and then coming back to neutral as I come down. And so they're protracting a little bit as I press, and then retracting a little bit as I come down.